Constellation myths. The ancient myths of Orion and Scorpius, plus a few short stories on a couple of asterisms, the Hyades and the Pleiades. Orion the Mighty Hunter. Stories of the death of Orion are numerous and often conflicting. A number of ancient scholars agree that a scorpion was involved. In one version, told by Eratosthenes and Hyginus, Orion boasted that he was the greatest of hunters. He bragged to Artemis, the goddess of hunting, that he could kill any beast on earth. Gaia, the earth goddess, the ancestral mother of all life, shuddered at this horrible boast and allowed a scorpion to emerge from a crack in the ground, which stung the giant to death. Scorpius, the scorpion. In Greek mythology, this is the scorpion that stung Orion the hunter to death. The moral of the story is that Orion suffers retribution for his hubris. This seems to be one of the oldest of Greek myths, and the origin may lie in the sky itself, since the two constellations are located opposite each other, so that Orion sets as his conqueror, the scorpion, rises. The configuration of stars recognized as the scorpion is much older than the Greeks. The Sumerians knew it as Girtab, the scorpion, over 4,000 years before. New myths and stories. Often we make up our own stories as a good way to remember the patterns we see in the stars. For example, in order to remember the sky surrounding Orion the Hunter and its local constellations, there's a story about him with club raised confronting the great bull Taurus, while Canis Major and Canis Minor, his two faithful dogs, stand at his side. And Lepus the hare, the hunter's real game, scurries away at his feet. The Hyades and the Pleiades star clusters in the site of Taurus. Another story that is useful to remember the proximity of objects in the constellation Taurus is that the Hyades and Pleiades are in the site of the follower, Aldebaran, which is the eye of the Greek god Zeus in disguise as the great bull Taurus. Constellations are asterisms. A constellation is a pattern of stars in the night sky. There are 88 official constellations, all with well-defined boundaries. Many constellations are very old. They are a link between us and our ancestors, a projection of human imagination into the cosmos. Ancient people looked at the stars and thought they saw mystical beings or beasts among the stars. Many asterisms are small patterns within a constellation, and some are large patterns made of bright stars from multiple constellations. There is nothing official about an asterism, but many are well known. Generally, an asterism is a simple pattern that is easy to recognize. Examples: Big Dipper in the constellation Ursa Major, the Southern Cross in the constellation of Crux, and Pleiades in the constellation of Taurus. The story of the asterism Hyades. Hyades, in Greek mythology, were the sisters of the 7 Pleiades nymphs. Hyas, their brother, was killed in a hunting accident, and the sisters wept with grief inconsolably until Zeus, out of compassion, changed them into stars. Their name means the reigning ones. A different story of the asterism Pleiades. Many cultures worldwide have stories about this asterism as 7 sisters or brothers. Here is one from an indigenous people of North America. The Blackfoot live in the southern part of Alberta, Canada. In their stories, the Pleiades are orphans known as the Lost Boys. No one cared for these boys, so they became the stars we know as the Pleiades. The mistreatment of these orphans made the Sun Man angry, so he punished the people with a drought, causing the buffalo to disappear when the lost boys are in the sky. The Blackfoot had to wait until after the Pleiades disappear from the summer sky to hunt the great beast.